Hello everybody.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Okay, I am Zaire.
I'm Marita. I'm the directora de bienestar. In English, I'm going to be the director of volunteers. So that means I am in charge of your RCs as well as kind of in charge of you guys from a top level. So really glad to have you guys here and super excited to meet you all soon.
Hello guys, I'm Gabriela. I'm the one who has been talking to all of you via mail or WhatsApp, and I'm the one who has been answering your questions. And yeah, I'm really happy to be here today.
Okay, as I told you before, my name is Zaire Paola Acevedo. I am the academic director, and I have been in touch with you and talked to you almost every day with Gabriela. So I'm very glad that we finally are meeting each other and seeing each other today. Now, there are some things that I really need to talk to you about. We are going to start talking about the first step, which are the documentation for you to apply. So the first documents that you need to send us to the email that we will be reading now, we are going to write to you right now. There is English volunteering, English volunteer. To that email, you need to send your resume, you need to send your copies of your studies, so your bachelor's degrees, your professional studies diploma that you obtained, and also a copy of your passport. What is the second step? We just review and check these documents because we have been receiving documents that are faked. That is very clear that the people have changed their names, that is not original. And also, we are doing a check with the universities. I mean, that's why it's taking us a little bit long to give you to send you the acceptance letters, because we're checking with the university that you said that you have studied in, that you really became a part, that you're really a member, and that you really graduated from that university. Now, when we finish this process, what we do is we send you an acceptance letter. As soon as you receive it, you can start booking your tickets. Now, the second step, you are going to receive another list of documents that the Ministry of Education is asking us for you to fill in and also to send. Okay? So Gabriela is going to tell us more about those documents.
Okay, so as soon as you have sent all your initial documents, you will receive an acceptance email. There has been a big confusion because many of you have said, I have received an acceptance letter. No, you won't receive a letter like, hey, I don't know, Alex, you just been accepted. No, it's just an email in which you will find also a form. With that form, we need you to fill it with some personal and general information about you. With that information, we will be making the process of the visa. So it's really important for you to take the form and fill it really well as the form is written. For example, we need you to write your exact number of passport or your city or your contact information, because many of you have been making mistakes filling the form. And if you make that mistake, then the letter of the Ministry of Education for your visa will be also wrong, and you won't be able to make the process. Also, there is an additional list of documents that you will have to send as an email in a folder with the subject complete application and then your name. We also need you to send all the documents together in just one email, because it's a matter of organization. If you send one document in one email and then another, it's very complicated for us to be fast and to give you all your acceptance emails fast, because there's a lot of things to do. So please follow the instructions in the email. If you haven't received an acceptance email, it means we haven't checked your documents yet. So please, we need you to be really patient, because that also depends on you. If you don't send the documents fast, or you send your passport and then your CV, it will be more complicated for us to check all your documents.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is that you sent, I mean, if you already have received the email that you have been accepted, you just go to the second path, to the second step. Now, if you haven't, and you are sending the documents, please try to send them in one email, because we receive in the morning your copy of your passport. 2 days later, copy of your CV. And we are receiving more than 300-400 emails per day. So it's been a little bit crazy. I mean, just looking, okay, we already have. If you send one file, the answer for your documentation and acceptance is going to be faster, okay? Second, there are some questions that I have been asked, and those questions are related to, first, insurance. Okay, the health insurance is a document that you need to bring with you. We are trying to find out from an insurance company here in Colombia. I hope they can give us an answer today, tomorrow, to see, because we already sent the whole project to them to see if they can help us get the insurance here and in some way send the insurance to you. But I don't know the payment, how it would be. Okay, so what we have is just, you can get it with them, but we're looking now for the way for you to obtain it, because you have to arrive with it or as soon as you get here. So we're trying to organize that issue right now. Now, it's very easy. There are many insurance companies, or sometimes, for example, your parents or a relative or you, when you travel and you get a ticket, they can give you an insurance, or they can help you with the insurance. Or you can get the insurance in an insurance company, right?
Yes, and an important thing I want to add about the theme of insurance is that in the past we have been asked to provide documents that have exact dates of when you will be covered. So it's really important to make sure that you have policies that cover you from January 28th until June 30th when the program ends. And these policies that you send us need to have those dates. It's a question of liability. If you only have a policy that goes until May, then that will be an issue. So just really make sure that your documents have dates and that they are official policies, not just an email saying that you have insurance. It's important to know what insurance you have, what kind of coverage you have, and dates.
Yeah, because I mean the insurance we need that covers you in case of an emergency or an accident. If you get sick, we need really to take you to that insurance and find a hospital that will accept you with that insurance. So that's the other job that we are doing right here. You send us the insurance, and we need to see what in what hospital or medical place you can take you. So if the insurance doesn't have, I mean, detail, just an email with a name or just a picture, sometimes we just don't know how to help you if you arrive here and how to take you to the doctor just in case that you get sick or something happens. So the idea is that you need to be protected, and it's for your own good. I mean, it's not for us, it's for you. Anything can happen, and the idea is that You need to be covered, and we need also to know where to take you and how to act and be with you in just in case of an emergency. Second topic, the places, the cities. I ask you in all the emails with your documents that you should send 3 cities, okay? The thing is that we are really trying really hard to just place you in one of the 3 places that you have chosen. So we're trying to do our best. Now, many people, almost like 50%, are asking for places like the same places. Cartagena, Medellin, Bogota, Santa Marta. So for us, we're going to do our best in order to give you the places that you ask for. So other places, I mean, Colombia is beautiful, all of it. And we have 2 oceans and we have rivers, and most of the country is very warm. Only Boyacá and Bogota are like cold weather. The rest of the country is warm, and there are many, many nice activities to do. What we are going to do is, we don't want to do the process with not asking you, because for me it's not nice that you said 3 cities and then suddenly by surprise you are not going to be placed in any city different. So what we are going to do is, first, from the 3 cities or places that you have chosen, we are going to book you in one. If all those places are already booked and there is not any more space, I mean, place for you to be there. So what we are going to do is we are going to place you in a town very near that city, maybe 15, 20, max 40 minutes, an hour away from that main city. If we really cannot place you, I mean, closer to that place, what we are going to ask you, but we are going to do that individually, to ask you to the people, for example, people that are just joined the group. There are many places that are already booked. So we are going to ask you, we are going to give you the options that we have left, and we are going to ask you for other 3 options, okay? In order for you to web the place, to look information about the cities, for you to get to know the city before you're being booked. So with that, you are going to find a very nice place for you to be, and also something that you already know in advance where is it going to be. We don't want you that maybe said, no, I don't want to go to the program because you didn't send me to the place I wanted to. We want to please all of you, but we want to please you the best way, and I want you to be safe and happy, and we want you to feel nice according to the place you have chosen.
So last year I worked in recruitment, and I actually did a lot of the previous participants' placements. So I mentioned on the Facebook group today that there are going to be over 300 of you. So for example, I mentioned that there are going to be 30 spots in Medellin. The likelihood that you've gotten Medellin is probably going to be pretty low. Like, it's important to keep in mind and be realistic about your placement. Like Saidi said, that we are trying our best to accommodate everyone's needs, but it really comes down to, we're hoping to find people who are really passionate about the program and not the placement. Of course, there will be lots of opportunities to travel. There are lots of opportunities to visit friends. Placement, I hope, is not an end-all be-all for you guys. Of course, if you've spent time in that city, that's a really important factor to take into account, and more or less we're prioritizing people who have spent time in the schools, whose schools want them back, who know the cities. And then for the people who are new, you're going to have the support in any city that you get. You're going to have a regional coordinator. You're going to have the support of me as a director. You're going to have the support of pedagogy. We can help you connect. Pedagogy leaders. We can connect you with previous fellows, previous RCs. So there's definitely a support network for people who are nervous if you get a small town in Boyacá. Colombia has a lot of great places, a lot of great cities to offer, and it's just important to keep in mind that no matter what, we're going to help you transition into whatever city you get placed in, and we hope that everyone can keep an open mind of placement cities.
Okay, there's something I want to say, and it's that once you get to the form, there's a question there that says cities of preference. In that question, you are asked to say which three cities are your preference and why do you want to be there in case you have any personal situation. For example, there's many of you who have already family here, so you say, I don't know, I want to be in Santa Marta because my family lives there, or my husband, my daughter, I don't know. If you have a situation like that, you have to write there in the form, in that question that you happen to have that personal situation and you need to place there, to be pleased there. Because we have already assigned some people and what is happening is that they say, no, I don't want that because it's too cold or it's too warm or whatever. I don't know, but I really need you that if you have a specific situation why you need to be in a specific city, I need you to write it there because otherwise I will put you in the city of your choice and it is really complicated to ask me to change your placement at your school after we have already placed you. Other thing is that we really need you to be patient because as I said before, there are some people that have already been assigned to some places and cities, not all of you, because that is a long process, so I need you to be patient if you have already filled the form and sent your documents. If you have already been assigned and you want a change of city, of school, I really need you again to be patient because there's also the change that you can be assigned to that city because the assignment has already been done. So I really need you to be patient and follow the instructions. We really try to answer all your questions and be clear, but as much as you can, please follow all the instructions.
Yes, and along that theme too, like Gabriela said, once a placement is assigned, we're starting to create databases for schools, for regional coordinators. So it's just logistically not possible to keep changing your city and say, no, I actually want Barranquilla instead. That's, we are trying to accommodate you as much as possible, but unfortunately with managing so many of you, there's only so much we can do and undo and redo. So like Gabriela said, please be very pendiente, juicioso with your applications and make sure that your decisions are final because they will be final in our system.
Okay, second, the visa issue. So we just received an hour ago some letters. The first people that have applied, we already have the letters from the Minister of Education. So the idea is that we will be sending those letters today in order for you to apply at the Cancilleria website from Colombia, so to start processing your visa on time and today, okay? So we are going to start now. We're going to receive other letters tomorrow, other letters on Thursday, other letters on Friday. So the idea is that we will be sending to the Minister of Education list of you, a list of your names, everything complete. So the Minister of Education is helping us to get your letters as soon as possible. So what we are doing is we received some letters from the Minister of Education that we sent last week. We are waiting for more letters tomorrow. So if you don't receive your letter today, don't worry. I mean, we are going to try just to move in order for you to receive your letters from today until Saturday, okay? So those days are very, very crucial for us. Now, the people that are applying right now today, please send us your resume with your documents, I mean your passport and your studies. So we just can start the process fast because we have to add you to the list today, tomorrow. So you can belong to the last list we are going to send because we really, really want that you start your process this week. So the people that will receive the letters today, please start doing the application form for the visa. Now, we will send also with the letter pictures of the instructions. So we are going to try to send like an instruction, an instruction process for you step by step to show you how you need to get your visa and how to apply for the visa that you need to bring here. And in some countries you cannot enter, you cannot get into the country if you don't have it. So the idea is that we are going to start also that process today.
Another thing about the visas, this process is a governmental process. It's a process outside of organization. It's actually with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. What that means for you guys is that it's very, 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 very important that you follow the directions exactly as they are. All white background means all white. Good lighting is really important for your picture. They're very picky about the documents. A lot of the times they will send back, like, this isn't sufficient, this will not work for your application. So be prepared to receive some sort of communication from us if that's the case. Or you will receive communication as well. The communication is usually in Spanish. So if you need help with translating, please get in touch with us. If you're unclear about something, please get in touch with us. It's really important that you do it right the first time, because there have been cases in the past where if you keep sending it incorrectly, it's possible that they could just say, you know what, no, and then you'll lose your visa. So it's very, very important. I can't stress that enough to follow the directions exactly as they are and fulfill all the requirements of the visa process.
Okay, so any question that you have related to the visas, we will be like helping you out tomorrow, because I hope we can start doing that process and you can start doing that process today. This is for the first applicants to the program. Now, the people, as I said before, again, please, if you want to apply, there is no more time now to interview you, to call you on the phone, to ask you to send you information about the program. We don't have time to do that right now. What we need is, if you're a new person that you want to apply to the program, please just send your resume with your documents and copy of your passport to start the process, so we can just review and check with the universities and check that your profile, check everything, and then we just start with the process right now. Very quick. We have many people now helping us doing that process.
And oh no,
sorry, go ahead.
I'm just reviewing some of your questions. Sorry, there's a tech glitch, and so I'm just seeing all of your questions now. So I'm going to try and summarize what I'm reading here. A lot of you have asked about placements in Bogota. In the past, we have not had placements in Bogota in public schools. So this year and last year, we have a program, and it's with wounded soldiers. And that program requires a very specific profile, so we will be placing people with that exact profile in Bogota. So those of you who are wondering if there are placements directly in the city of Bogota, no, there are not. However, there are placements in Chía, Funza, Mosquera, which are more or less Soacha, which are more or less suburbs of Bogota. So if you're willing to deal with the traffic of Bogota, the madness of Bogota, and really want to live in Bogota, it would be possible for you to commute. That's completely up to you, and as long as you are aware that traffic in Bogota is, for lack of a better word, it's terrible. So just keep in mind, a lot of you have asked about Bogota, and so we have a very specific profile in mind, and most likely it will not be offered to a lot of you. But there is a possibility to be in surrounding suburbs. In terms of the visas, you guys, this is a visa that's provided by the government for you. So when you're applying, you shouldn't be paying anything. You should not be paying any fees. It's going to be covered by the program. The program sponsors this visa. After you get a visa is when you get the cédula. The cédula is a Colombian ID. So that whole process is going to happen while you're at orientation and when you get to a region. And that is going to be a cost that you guys will assume up front, and then you will be reimbursed for it later. That's always how it's worked. So it's 183,000 pesos. That's what it was last year. It's probably something around similar there now. So that will be reimbursed, but keep in mind that that is an upfront cost that you guys will have to cover and that the program will reimburse you for later. Someone asked if you are from Ecuador, do you need a visa? No, you do not need a visa. My suggestion is, if you have doubts about whether you need a visa or not to come into the country, is to Google, just do old-fashioned Google, and put in Colombian restricted nations visa, and that will present a whole list of countries that that you will need to have a visa to come into. So for example, a lot of countries from Africa, they are restricted nations, so you will need a visa before you come here. And that is why we're trying to get started on this process. And I think those are all the questions I can see right now. Like I said, there's a bit of a tech glitch, so the questions kind of catch up later. So if I see any more general questions, I'll answer them.
I have something to say is that many people from Latin America like Argentina or Venezuela or Ecuador, they are trying to apply, but unfortunately for this program we don't accept people who their mother language is Spanish. We can do it, it's just another thing. The program requires people with foreign people, and if your mother language isn't English, then another, but not Spanish. So yeah, many people of also Spain have been requesting the process, but we cannot accept you in this program.
Well, and there is a reason. I mean, it's not like, but why? I mean, we have met people with very good curriculums. Also, we have thought maybe because they have a lot of experience, there are some that have been in studies as coordinators or other things, but the thing is that the Ministry of Education here and the program itself needs a person. What is like this volunteer program objective? Is that we help Colombia students. We just help to build this country in learning a second language, which is English. So if the person is from, I don't know, I mean, any country from Latin America, Venezuela, Ecuador, Mexico, Spain, whatever, or Europe, Spain. But if your mother tongue is Spanish, you arrive to the school and you will be given English classes. But the idea is that the person speaks English in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, in the town, in the city, in a cultural place, in any activity that that person is going to do here. So if you speak Spanish, the situation is that you are going to use Spanish. So the immersion that is like bringing a person from other country to speak about just in the language, to just be immersed in our culture, it is not going to be possible if the person speaks Spanish. So that's the reason why, okay? Now, if you have, I don't know, a master's degree, if you have experience as coordinator, or if you fulfilled your resume is good enough maybe to think about coordinating a group of volunteers, we will study it, okay? And that can be a possibility, but in this time, people that the mother language is Spanish is not being, I mean, they are not being accepted, okay? So the idea is that if you are from France, if you are from other countries, Germany, other places in the world that you speak a different language, but your English level is C1 or C2, perfect. You are able to apply. You can apply to the program. There is not any restriction about it. Welcome here. There are many things. We really need you guys in order to build knowledge, in order to help our students to get better skills in English communication and their English abilities and skills. So we really want you here to do all that and to just, the dream that we have that our country becomes bilingual just can become true with you and your help and your support. So that's why you are so important to us, and that's why we are just paying attention to your WhatsApp, your messages, your emails. Just in case that an email is not being answered, you just send me a WhatsApp message or something, and we just look for it and we just answer immediately. Because as I said before, there are many mails and messages that we are receiving, and sometimes there is one or two that, because if you don't send in the information in one file, so there are many mails to answer and to check, and sometimes we can just get one or two just disappear, or we just don't see it, but it's not on purpose. I mean, the idea is to answer you immediately. You can call you can call us. I mean, we have been receiving phone calls, messages, mails, everything, and we are just trying to do your best, because the idea is that we work together with you, and also we just help you out with everything. Other issue that is very, very delicate is the arriving date, okay? So the idea is that you arrive here to Bogota, January 28th. Now we will send you. I mean, the idea is if you arrive before noon, if you arrive in the morning, and we really need to know at what time you are going to come here, because you are going to be picked up at the airport, and you are going to be taken to the hotel, and you are going to be with people that is going to take care of you all the time.
It's very important to send your ticket information exactly how it is, and if you have any flight delays, it's very important to get in touch with someone from the program.
Now, after that date of arrival, there are some things that we are going to do. You are going to have training, you are going to meet other people, you are going to meet your coordinator, we are going to do group of many things that we are going to do. So some people have said, well, I cannot arrive that week. I already belong to the program. I know what is going on. I know what is going to happen and things like that. No, the idea is that this is a different process. It's not the same. Here, the process have changed. Okay. So you are going to be in the schools. There is a program. There are some materials that you are going to be following, and there are many activities that we are going to do. But in this case, it's not with the same company. It's with La CUN University. So la Corporación Unificada Nacional de Educación Superior, CUN, C-U-N, if you want to Google it. So the university has other issues and other ways of observing, analyzing, following the students, because the idea is that we want the students to improve, and also we have a different issues of taking care of you. So we are very on top of if you're okay, if the place is safe, and if the materials and everything in terms of teaching is being taken care and is being just into account, gaining and obtaining the goals that we are expecting. So the idea is that what we want is a different process, so we really need you during that week. Okay. Now there are some very few special cases in terms of, I don't know, maybe I lost my flight, or I have a family issue. I mean, very small cases that maybe you can't arrive 1 or 2, but no later, because for us it's also complicated, and those particular cases we already have them, and it's just, I mean, we only have one case, and we have to present it in front of the Ministry of Education, and also we have to design an immediate, complete plan in order to train that person, as soon as the person arrives here. And that was for 1 or 2 days of difference. So the idea is that start booking your tickets, try to get here the 28th. It's very important for us that you arrive here on the 28th, okay? As I said before, you're going to be picked up.
You could finish. I'm going to answer some questions.
Okay. Then we are going to start the training. The training is just 4 or 5 days. As soon as we finish the training, you are going to be sent in plane, and you will be taken to the different cities with your coordinators. So the idea is that you are going to be together all the time. Now, your coordinators are also being hired this week, because what we need and what we want is that we need to look for a place for you to stay, and for you to be the first, as soon as you arrive to your town or your city, you need to have a place in order to stay. So with the coordinators, we are fixing and we are organizing all of that. Also a presentation about the region and all the things that you can do there. There is another issue regarding to that, and is that we are going to tell you, Colombia, as any other country in the world, is not perfect. Okay, we're beautiful, we have many things, but you need also to not be on the street talking on the phone in the middle of the city.
We'll cover
all
that. We'll cover all of safety in orientation.
Yeah,
They'll be
so
extensive.
we're gonna have an orientation about that. Also, that you cannot be like alone or lonely, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning without supervision. That we don't know where you are, because we really need to know if you're going out or what things are you going to do. So there are some safety things that we are going to cover into the training. Also about methodology, pedagogy, evaluation, all the things that we are going to do and how you are going to do your volunteering teaching work right here. Okay. Is there any other things?
Yeah, I'm gonna answer some questions that you guys are sending. Sometimes when it gets typed, we lose the questions or the answers. So someone asked, do we need a background check? Yes, we need a background check. It has to be a thorough, authorized background check, and it's a pertinent document. It's a mandatory document that you must send. We recognize that they do take a while. My best advice for U.S. citizens is that they go to their local police station and solicit a background check. Is the health certificate necessary for the visa, and is there a particular template for this? We do have a template for the health certificate. We can send that to you, of course. And yes, it is necessary for the visa. It's a necessary document that you have to send, so if you don't have that, then you can't apply for a visa. All of these documents that we're sending you, they're absolutely mandatory. There's no pick and choose with these. These are government visas that we're issuing, so we have to be sure that we're complying with everything. Our volunteer is going to get an upfront payment to take care of the first month's rent. This is really important. You guys will be receiving your stipends in February, so it's important to keep in mind that you have savings that will get you through the first month. So savings for housing, for food. You're not going to get a stipend for the first month. That process ended a long time ago with the previous program. The first week, of course, the orientation is covered. All food, meals, lodging is covered, but once you get to region, you will not be receiving a living stipend for the first month. You will get your stipend at the end of the month, but that's to cover all of your expenses. Let's see. The visa process from people from Africa. So that's very important. Like I mentioned, there are many restricted nations from Africa. So that's why we're getting a jump on this visa process, so you guys can get those visas before you come to Colombia. So you can come to Colombia.
And we will send you those letters, I hope, today. Now, there is a restriction with you guys from Africa, and is that in previous years, some of the teachers, volunteers faked insurances, faked professional degrees, and faked Minister of Education letters. So there is a warning with the people from some countries of Africa. What we want to do is that please do send your documentation. We are also asking you for transcripts and a certification from the ministry or Secretary of Education there, because we need more support in order for you not having any problems. I went to Cancilleria today, and also they told me that I have to write an email with all the letters that I have to send there in order for them to help us doing the process fast, and also allowing you, not denying visas. So the idea is that with this in mind, what we want is to help you to arrive here to the country and not having problems with the visas. But if you, for example, I received today 3 certifications, and it was so evident. It was real. I was just able to see that the documents were faked. How do we know? Because there is a big seal at the back, and then there is the name posted there, and in the name posted there is just a square, white square. So and that's not real. So when we suspect about those documents, what we do is just immediately we send an email to the embassy that is helping us there. We sent an email to the university in order for them to give us an answer to see if those documents are real. So the idea is that that this is taking us long. So that's why some people haven't received their documents. Also, they have sent copies of the documents with the same, just posted there. There is no design even. It's so obvious that the document is not real. So with that, we have to check and we have to see on the pages for checking, we have to call, we have to spend money, time, delaying the process, getting other people instead of you, because they really look. So I have also called some people and said, hey, send me a real picture of your diploma because it doesn't look well, okay? So we are also asking for that, but that takes us also long. Now, other two things that we need to talk about is the medical certificate. To arrive here to the country, you need to be healthy, okay? To be okay in your health. So the idea is that you ask, well, in previous processes, you had like a special format and you get like a doctor to sign it. No. Now what we are doing in this process, we are doing this special format here at the university. What we are asking you is to go to your doctor, your personal doctor, from the doctor, I don't know, that is near your family, the doctor that has always been with you, or where you go to a hospital and you just make a doctor appointment. And I need that, ask the doctor, a certification. They will write a note to you that you are okay. Okay, so why? Because also with the format that we sent, some of them were faked previous years. So we just want like the doctor, because it has a seal, it has a format. Every doctor has an address, a phone number, it has a web page, or has his name on it, or the company or the insurance, the health program that you have will just give you that. So the idea is that you go to the doctor as soon as possible, please, and just get that certificate from them. The other question that I've been asked is the blood type. The thing is that some of you don't know the blood type, but also in case of an emergency that you need blood transfusion or you need something, we don't know. If you have an accident or something, we have to take you to the doctor, and the first question that they are going to ask us is blood type. So the idea is that you go into a lab and take a blood exam, and they will give you what is your blood type. If that is not possible in your country, because I know that there are countries that is very difficult to get, please, as soon as you arrive here, we will help you go into the lab and having the blood type exam. Okay, so we can do that in Colombia. Now there is another issue, and is the security report that you don't have criminal records, or they ask us for that. So the idea is that with this in mind, you need also to get it as soon as possible. This morning I received a call and they told me, well, here in England that police record just takes a month. And I said, well, get it, but if you are here in the program, you need to give me a date line. You have to give me a specific time when, if there are missing 1 or 2 documents, I need to know when are those documents going to be here with us, okay? So you can arrive to the program, but we need a date, and a specific date when those documents that are missing, the blood type or the security, the criminal record, whatever, what is the name of it?
Background check.
The background check. So as soon as I know the background check when this paper is going to be ready, so you will give it to us, okay? But you can arrive, but we really need to know the specific date those documents are going to be used.
There's something I want to clarify, and it's the job certificates. Many of you from the USA or the UK, or many people have already told us that in your country that doesn't exist, that employers don't give that to you. So the only thing we need is evidence that you have worked in the place you have stayed in your curriculum. It means that you can have a reference, or if you can have a reference, then you can put a copy of the contract you had in each job. The thing is, we need evidence that you really worked in every job you had in your resume. Yeah, I guess.
I think it's important to note too with documents. Of course, we've checked your documents. We are optimistic that everyone are great candidates. that everyone's complying with what kind of profiles that we need. So for example, with a background check, they are sometimes very delayed. So what you guys need to know is if, for example, your background check is very delayed, and we receive a background check that does not pass the standards of this program, it's important to know that that's your responsibility. Of course, if they're grievous offenses that you committed that you haven't disclosed, that's kind of your responsibility, and it could jeopardize your position in the program. So just know that you're liable for anything that may pop up in your documents that do not comply with the program. We have another question that a lot of you are asking about what happens when you leave orientation. So when you leave orientation, this is a really quick brief summary of what happens. So you're going to land in region. You guys will be escorted by your regional coordinators. They will be with you going to region. You guys are responsible for your own accommodation the first month, whether it's in a hostel, whether it's an apartment, if you have family. It's completely up to you. You don't have an assigned housing in Colombia. The regional coordinators, of course, are in charge of helping you with that. They're in charge of helping you with finding that housing. And all the regional coordinators we have are familiar with those regions. So their job, and within the first couple of weeks, is to help you find that housing. But it is ultimately your responsibility with what you want, and financially your responsibility. And
there's also something I want to say, and it's that many of you, well, not many, but some of you have already said that we are asking for too many documents for the visa, or that you can get any documents, or well, anything else. It's important that you know that that process isn't our process. As Maritza and Saeed have already said before, that is a process from the government. So if you don't have your documents in order, or you're missing any of the documents that we requested, it's very possible that your visa is denied. If that happens, that wouldn't be our problem, because we told you what we needed, what you have to give, and unfortunately, if you don't follow the instructions, that can happen. So that is completely up to you. So that's why we are every time telling you that we need your documents to be in order and complete and actualized if it's required. So please take into account that your documents are really important, because sorry, if you have already bought a ticket, or you have already done things here in Colombia and your visa gets denied, that is your own responsibility.
Exactly. As Gabriela said, LACUN and this program funded by the Ministry of Education, we don't decide who gets a visa. We help you with this process, but it is the migration office that ultimately decides who gets a visa and who doesn't. It's really important to clarify that. I know in the past we've had problems with people, well, can't you do something about it? No, once a visa is denied, it's out of our hands. There's nothing we can do. We can try to get you the visa. We can try our best to help you resolve any issues that you have, but once it's denied, it's completely out of our hands.
Yeah, and we're trying to do our best. So getting the letters from the Ministry of Education, giving you step by step what you need to put into the documentation, how to fill the format. I mean, we are just doing a step by step what the ministry and the Cancilleria has said, and the rules of here, the government rules here. So please just follow the instructions step by step, because we are going to start this process today. Okay. Now we have another session again. We are going to be back again in the afternoon at 5 here. That will be in 2 hours. And also tomorrow, right? Tomorrow morning?
Yeah, tomorrow at 8 a.m.
So tomorrow at 8 a.m., at 8 in the morning, we are going to be here again. So the idea is that if you have any other questions, if you have any other situations, I mean, anything that you may ask, just write to us, and please be in contact. Please follow the steps, and please hurry up, because we really need you to get your visa soon, your ticket soon, and we are waiting for you here in Bogota, Colombia.
You can contact us, and many of you have already my number. You have also Maritza's number. Yeah, you have the number of the three of us. And there is also a Facebook group where answers are being, questions are being answered. So if you have any questions, just write to us. But as we have said before, please be patient. We try, and sometimes it's possible, but we cannot just answer as just you write and we get your answer. No, it's really complicated because, as Marisa said before, it's 500 of you, 300. So please be patient. We are trying to do our best.
And the Facebook group it's called 2018 Men Program. So you can apply to join. Shout out to Samantha, who's been managing this page really well. There's lots of information on there. A lot of the questions that you're asking, a lot of previous fellows can help you answer. Can help you answer those questions. Really, it's important during this process. Like Abigail said, please be patient. There are a lot more of you than there are of us, and please use your resources. Use the fellows that have participated in the past. They also have great knowledge. They probably have more knowledge than a lot of the people. More direct knowledge of exactly what happens on a day-to-day basis of the school, what happens in region, what are the roles of people. So really use each other because that's how it's going to be the next 6 months. You guys are a group. You guys are going to be spending lots of time together in the next few months, and so Facebook is a great way to keep up with a lot of this information.
And if you know other people, other teachers, volunteers that they want to apply, or professionals that they would like to apply to come here to the program, please tell them to send their documents to the email of the program, teachers, volunteers. So we just hope to have that information soon, and other information too.
Yeah, there's also something I want to say, it's that some people have told me that you are receiving emails from, I don't know, some people from Nigeria or some men that is telling you that you have been accepted, or
there is one email that is possible.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I don't know the email. Yes, I guess it's
this one.
It's okay. No, but that's another thing.
Oh.
Okay. That you have been accepted, and they are asking you to pay a deposit or something like that. And no, that is not us, as I have told some of you. We are the only official contact of the program. Maritza Saide, or even Lisa or me, we are the only people who are giving out information, and there is absolutely no deposit that you need to pay in order to participate in the program. So if you are asked to pay, I don't know, $100 or anything, that is not from us, so you shouldn't be paying attention to that.
Don't pay any money to anybody. Now there is an email. That is the only group of people that there is a coordinator, and he is from Nigeria and Ghana. Yeah, from these two countries, and they are helping us recruit people from Africa, and also they are helping us checking your documentation. Okay, so if somebody writes you or if you send information from recruitment at detourplanners.com, that will be the only organization that can ask you for documents or can give you information about the program, but nobody can ask you for any money. Okay. Now, second, the other organizations that we have been working on, we also describe the same situation. So the idea is that you don't need to pay any deposits, or you don't need to pay to come here. Just you get your ticket, your health insurance, and you just get into the plane that we are waiting for you.
Yes, and I want to answer just one question from Christopher, and is that if you have already received your placement, it means that you have already filled the form, and I expect you to have already sent all your documents that were requested in the email. So no, for now there is no other document that we need from you. And I want to clarify that the first step is that you apply. If you have already the information, that you would apply with the documents required. If not, then we will give you the information. What documents do you need to apply and what are the requirements? Then, if we will analyze your documents and everything, and then we will be sending you an email confirmation. In that email is where there's a form you need to fill out with all the information correctly, following the instructions, and you have to send some documents that are also in the email, and then your place will be given to you. So those are the 3 steps. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that because some of you are telling me that you have already applied and you haven't received your place yet. No, it takes time, and there are some steps that we need to take before giving you a place.
Yes.
Okay. So well, it was very nice to see you today. Well, that you see us
Yes.
to talk to you. And if you want to, I mean, we are going to repeat again this information at 5 p.m. That will be like 2 hours per now. If any of you couldn't see it, or if you know any of your colleagues or friends that they want also to see us again. So we'll see you at 5 or tomorrow at 8 in the morning, okay? Colombian time.
Yeah, and
So
this transmission will be recorded. So I have already told you that if you need the link, just tell me I couldn't see the transmission and we will send it to you.
okay.
One last question. Someone asked if you already live in Bogota, are you forced to live in the hotel? Well, we don't want to force anyone to live in the hotel, but it is an orientation. We will be providing accommodation for you. You are included in the budget for this orientation, so yes.
So if you're living in Bogota, you don't need to be in the hotel, but you need to be on time for the orientation. You cannot arrive late. You cannot leave earlier. You have to complete the schedule of the orientation, okay?
And I missed this question earlier, but some of you have been asking, if you have participated in the program in the past, you're currently in Colombia, your process for the visa may be a little different. They may be asking for entry stamps. That's usually what's happened in the past, or a carta saying you've been in the country, you arrived on this date. So be prepared if we get some transmission from Foreign Affairs that you need to send that letter. That's completely normal. The process may be a little different, but you guys are most likely here on a tourist visa. You cannot apply for this visa if you currently have another visa that is not a tourist visa. If you're here on a tourist visa, that's okay, but if you have a visa sponsored by any other organization, you cannot apply for multiple visas. If you already have a cedula, that means that you probably have a visa. If it's expired, then that's why we're doing this process. So you get a new visa and then you get a new cedula. So if you have a currently, I can only think in Spanish right now. If you have a current,
What? Tell me the word.
vigente. Valid. If you have a valid cedula right now, then that may be an issue. So if that is the case, please message one of us and let us know what the case is. Because if you're applying for multiple visas, that's going to be a red flag to Foreign Affairs as well, and may prohibit you from getting this visa that we are currently sponsoring.
Yeah, I mean, if you have come and go for many years to the country, maybe it would be a red flag. So the idea is that we don't want any visa to be rejected, okay? So what we want is that to have all of you into the program. So please verify. We are going also to send the step-by-step for the visa that is going to be applied for this program with invitation letters from the Minister of Education. But in case that you want, I don't know, you have another process or you have been doing different processes here into the country, maybe it can be complicated. So maybe you will need personally your case to apply for that visa, and that will be a different issue. So just let us know which is your like legal statement and here, so we can help you out also asking and searching. We are also going to send you the website of the embassy and everything here, Cancilleria, everything step by step. Just follow step by step what is going to be said there, okay? So again, thank you very much.
Yeah, if you have any question, just write to us an email, or you have already our numbers, the Facebook group, or yeah, I think that's it. But any question, we are here to help you, and we are here to answer your doubts and everything. So please,
Just let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, we're here for you. Okay. So I hope to see you soon, and the person that they want to see again, or the person that are missing, just see you in 2 hours. Okay, bye.